This is, as you know, the Legal and Social Issues Committee's hearing into Victoria's criminal justice system.
State funds are injected into criminal justice, whilst not-for-profit organisations struggle to secure long-term funds.
Restorative justice can provide more choice for victims and improve their experience of the criminal justice system, but also reduce the rate of reoffending.
We need to address the over-policing and over-criminalisation of migrant women, especially women of colour.
For this committee, it's a chance to make recommendations for improving trust and the confidence of Aboriginal people in the criminal justice system.
You are recommending for a legislated cautioning system, and I wonder if you could please expand on that.
Some of the key legislative things can be a presumption in favour of cautions for certain categories of offenders and or certain categories of offences.
Yeah.
So you're kind of turning around the presumption in favour of charging towards cautioning.
You have anything to say about the migrant women as victims of crime? Some statistic or something you could share with us?
Migrant women have lower levels of access to family violence services, tend to access them at a much later point, and therefore tend to experience more sustained and sometimes escalating violence.
What do you see as being the most important and the highest of priorities in diverting our young Aboriginal children from being incarcerated?
The single quickest thing that could make a difference is to raise the age of criminal responsibility.
So I think when we're talking about prevention and intervention, it's having this more holistic approach and looking at what the failures are in social security nets.
Would you mind talking in a little bit more detail about why you feel as strongly as you do about short sentences?
I mean, I think ultimately the data tells us that prison is criminogenic, that people who go into custody are more likely to reoffend when they come out, and that people who successfully get through community supervision, not only is it much cheaper at the time, but also they're far less likely to reoffend.
What needs to be done to improve knowledge and awareness of, self-determination and the rights of Indigenous people in our judicial offices across our state?
There is a need to develop not just that awareness, but that cultural competence, and to equip everyone who's involved in judicial processes. And that's not just even the judicial officers themselves, it's the people supporting them.
What role do our judges and magistrates play in being able to put these young children through a referral process to organisations that can support them as opposed to a punitive incarceration measure?
Recruitment of judicial officers really should value the expertise and knowledge of core competencies, including trauma, gender, cultural awareness and safety, understanding the experience of victims, what that means, the value of restorative justice.
Having the full breadth of options, levers and discretion available rather than curtailing and limiting the options available to the courts on any given day is also critical.